On today's podcast, I speak to Max Duff, a designer with a great brand called Death Collective, who I rode with almost a couple of weeks ago on some old school bikes, wearing suits and tuxedos for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Oh man, you have to see this stuff. Get on his website and look this gear up. It's beyond cool. I'm talking 50s biker cool, a different kind of biker where you just have fun and enjoy your life. It was really cool to meet this guy. He's got a great story and a great history, and I like the way this brand was even started, with all good intentions, even now. So big ups to Guy Newman for bringing me this podcast champion into the studio today. All right, are you there, Max? Ow! Max Duff.
G'day.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Let me tell you a long ass story.
Yeah, go nuts.
All right. Well, I was in Japan for 6 weeks. Yeah, going a bit itchy that I wanted to get home to the coast, and as the day I landed, the very next day, Cindy from Buskers by the Creek, this festival, I bumped into her and she said, "Drew, I just met this guy with dreadlocks, and he was turfing in Currumbin, and I just pulled over. I knew I had to talk to him. I pulled over and she said, 'What are you doing?'" She's nuts, right? "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm building a cafe." "What sort of cafe? What's this?" You know, and like we both know now, it's the Iron and Resin Garage in Currumbin.
Yeah.
Right, and so what's Bruce's last name? Robson,
yeah.
Bruce Robson, yeah, from Nitro Circus, a commentator.
Yep, that's
right,
it.
is moving into Currumbin, right, to build a coffee shop. We're going, wow, this is awesome. And then I tell my mate Guy Newman, who has been on this podcast before.
Yeah, I heard that one actually. That's the one I listened to.
Oh, wow, all right. Well, I told Guy, I said, "Man, there's a Distinguished Gentleman's Ride that I want to do. I want to get my Vespa, my crappy old Vespa that hasn't been running for 5 years.
Yeah.
Got it tuned up to do this ride." And he goes, "Man, we're all doing it. It's going to be massive." Excellent, right? So the funny story here is I pick up Cindy. Cindy's on the back of my bike. Someone else's wife, by the way, on the back. It was like, oh, geez,
two people
man.
on a Vespa?
I was freaking out on a bike that hadn't been running for 5 years, 1962.
Yeah. Nice
bike, but it's old, you know.
They're the best bikes.
Yeah, well, two-stroke, and it was just running so well. And I get to Broadbeach.
Yeah.
No, Main Beach, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right there, you know, where the kids' park thing is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the battery went flat.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
At least it didn't catch fire.
Yeah, like that other bike.
Yeah.
Well, so it went flat. The bike stopped.
Yeah.
It's one of those bikes, you know. And anyway, so I called my cousin up and we loaded on the back of a ute. And just as we're finished loading, it's only me and Cindy now on the back of this whole ute with my Vespa loaded in the back. Yeah. All of a sudden, 200 bikes, the ride had started, and they came past, and I stood up on top of the bike. I was like, with my fingers up, "Fuck you guys!" And then, and all of them, they're all doing it back. It was hilarious. Yeah. I was wearing a tuxedo.
Man.
It was awesome, man. It was so fun. But here's the story, right? So they all went past, and I was looking out for Guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't find him. I saw two other mates go past. They gave me the finger.
Cool.
It was hilarious, right? So I get in this old Commodore ute. Cindy, the last rider, actually pulled over and hitched and got on the back of that bike. So that thing was done. Yeah, everything was sorted there. So I'm moping in this Commodore ute, 1992 crappy Commodore ute, just going, damn, man. And I realised there's a few more bikes coming past, right? And I noticed that, like, the call out for this ride was for old bobbers and, you know, cool bikes. Like, just cool bikes, not sort of bikey Harley sort of deals necessarily, or new Japanese things. That was sort of a thing classics. That I was hoping for, classics with suits and,
distinguished bikes.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden, right, stuck on Sundale Bridge, I see these, like, about 5 or 8 bikes come along, and they're all wearing these black and white jackets and stuff, like with Death Collective on the back with 666, and there was even a girl on the back of one. It was like I was in the late 50s, early 60s, right? And everyone was cool, but different cool. Yeah. Wearing patches but not bikey scuzzbags, you know, like there was this, I was just like, damn, that's cool.
Thanks,
I
man.
hadn't seen it before in my life, man. Like You know, and then Guy was in that group.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually kicked the front of the Commodore Ute. I'm like, damn.
way.
And then disappears off into the distance. And I'm going, this stupid Vespa. I've got to get a real bike.
I think he was following me over that bridge at that time, like down the left-hand side, maybe.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, real tight. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the next day, Guy says, oh, man, Peter, your bike broke down. There's one caught fire.
Yeah.
Right? I said, well, that's pretty good. I didn't get caught in that deal.
Yeah, that was nasty.
But when I went to Iron and Resin, now I see all this labelled stuff there.
Yep.
Like they've got their Iron and Resin Australia gear, or
Yep.
Iron Resin gear,
Yep.
clothing, and then there's the Death Collective gear.
Yeah, I was stoked to get in there.
Mate, it's amazing. It's just, I'm telling you this for a reason, right? And here you are today. Thanks to Guy Newman. What a champ.
Cheers, Guy.
I've seen, like I'm old enough to have seen all this, and I'm muso, so I've played in so many bikie clubs.
Yeah.
And I often wondered, where's that scene going to go? Like it got to wearing tap-out shirts and Adidas shoes.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me personally, I thought, that's not cool anymore. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So the rock and roll has gone out of that whole riding bike stuff. And just like that, here comes Death Collective. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we're just into having fun, really. It doesn't really matter what kind of bike you have. You don't have to be a particular type of person. You just, as long as you like motorbikes and like having fun, that's us. Yeah.
I noticed that on your logo, right?
Yeah.
Ride bikes, have fun.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like, it's not about, you know, trying to be a poser, not trying to be anything in particular. It's just people with a common mindset. You know, we all come from kind of different backgrounds. Like, obviously, a lot of us come from, you know, motocross or BMX or surfing, but at the end of the day, we just all love bikes and just love riding them, and that's all that matters, really. Like,
Yeah.
be any type of person, any background, it's just,
That's right.
just have fun on them. That's what matters. So,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But can you see how, like the era has kind of changed, like dramatically? Like hipster. Look at me, I'm rocking a beard. Like, you know that.
yeah,
All of a sudden, things have kind of lined up to a cool place. I really wondered where it was all going because I remember riding that Vespa, going, "Oh man, I hope a bunch of bikies don't turn a corner."
Yeah.
Because I had that fear of funny. There's a funny vibe in the air at a certain time. You know,
especially when you first start riding, because there's that unknown. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been riding road bikes for about not even 18 months yet.
Yeah.
So it's all still kind of new to me. Like, I came from BMXing and a little bit of motocross background, but yeah, just as soon as I rode a road bike, and to be honest, like Matty Max, one of the guys who kind of got me into it, and like ever since I got on one, went for my first ride through the hills, that was it. Like, kind of stopped surfing. Like, every Sunday I was just out riding motorbikes. Like,
Yeah, right.
and I haven't looked back since. So
that's a good point. Hey,
yeah.
when's the time where you have to wear jeans? Like, oh, geez, my Sundays now have to put on some.
Yeah, and
jeans
especially
or something, you know.
this time of year, heading forward, it gets so hot. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
But
on
it is
bike.
a real thing. It is a real thing when your lifestyle is a particular way.
Yeah, and it fully
surfing on
changes.
Sundays, you know, and then like, no, I want to go for a ride. I got to put these jeans on or something. And like,
Yeah.
wow, that's a deal.
Suit up.
So what's the go, man? Like, I actually looked you up on the net, and you're a designer.
Yeah. So, I mean, my background's in graphic design, so that's what I was lucky in school. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was that kid in school who drew Fox logos all over his pencil case and did all that kind of thing. I was just obsessed with brands, like, to be straight up and honest. And, at that point in time, like, our family didn't make a whole lot of money, so my mum could see, you know, I was obsessed with these brands. And funny story, she decided one day, like, TNC back when I was a kid was the cool brand, like having
Town
this
and Country.
that's on having this TNC t-shirt or whatever, and like we couldn't afford it. Like, you know, my mum wasn't working, dad was the only income provider, so mum decided to make my own TNC jumper, like just out of those glitter paint things.
Oh, what a good mum!
And I was like, I think that's pretty much what did it for me. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, you can kind of make whatever you want, like. And then, I was just obsessed with logos all through school, and then found out there's this thing called graphic design you can do and actually get paid to do that kind of stuff. And actually what kind of got me into the real design side of things is I played this video game, which some people may be familiar with. It's called Motocross Madness.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, you could actually kind of make your own bikes and stuff, and, like, you know, make graphics kits, and, you know, you could change the outfit of the rider and, like, just do it in MS Paint or Photoshop or whatever.
Yep.
And from that point,
What was that on? Like PlayStation?
No, this is on PC.
Ah, well, okay.
Yeah. So you could fully change whatever you wanted, and that kind of got me into the whole design side of things for bikes, because I love the idea of doing design, like mixing two passions, like this design logo passion with motorbikes and BMX and stuff. So that's kind of how I got started. And then went to uni, and I love uni because it was like I don't know, it was like school, but I was actually doing what I wanted to do rather than maths. So,
Yep.
yeah, it was really good. And then, yeah, just kind of kept going from there. And then at the end of that, I was lucky enough to get a job at Unit. So that was kind of where it all kicked off.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's amazing because, like, this chair that you're sitting in right now, like I told you just off air, right, is that also do this podcasting with Pulse Expression podcast.
Yeah.
Right? And, Paul Everett was sitting there right in the chair.
Yeah.
And he told us the whole story, how they made $20 million off some designs. Really just, he's an artist.
Yeah, fully.
And he and his brother, they started spray painting designs, just like your mum there,
on
right?
the caps, yeah.
Yeah, just
I remember
spray
that.
painting on caps. But they knew their market. They wanted to be in this sort of...
They
like the bike, they like dirt bikes, and that they just did it, man.
Yeah.
In the Gold Coast, and you were there.
Yeah. I was lucky enough when I was actually still in uni, so I was third year uni. I can't remember what year it was, I think 2004 or something like that, or 2003. Long story short, I actually entered a competition in Freerider, that motocross magazine, Freestyle Motocross Mag, and at that point, Paul Everest was actually the designer there. So he was designing all the mags, and I entered this competition. It was to design, I think it was like a Metal Militia ad or something like that. So I entered it, and Paul was the judge, and I ended up winning. And he emailed me and said, "Yep, congratulations," and everything. And then he's like, I'm the guy behind Unit, blah blah blah. Myself and Ian, his brother.
Did you freak out?
Oh no, I was just stoked because at this point, Unit was still kind of small. They had this thing called
what sort of year?
2003, I think 2004.
Okay.
And that design, Ian was an industrial engineer or something like that, and he designed this thing called the Skycraft, and everyone was like, holy shit, look at this thing. It was like a purpose-built freestyle motocross bike. Right. And so that got me really interested. Like, Paul's like, yep, this is Unit, blah, blah, blah. And he was nice enough to offer me like some work experience kind of thing, or like 1 day a week paid work to come down to the Gold Coast and work. So I'd drive from the Sunshine Coast down to the Gold Coast and, just do like a couple of days a week with them. And, just kind of grew from there. And at that point, Paul still had his design business as well. So I was doing some for his design business, some for Unit. And then, Unit just exploded. It went mental. So,
are there designs out there that you still see on the street? Did you
all
have
the time?
Yeah, really? Could you explain one that I might know?
There's plenty. So, I mean, Paul and I worked on that. I don't really want to admit to this one, but the Southern Cross Unit thing that everyone gets tattooed on them. So, I mean, Unit cops a lot of shit from everyone. Like it is without a doubt like one of the most paid out brands. But I'm still proud that I work there. I'm stoked that I work there.
Yeah, man. Everyone pays them out because they just got so big. That's all. That's what we do as Aussies, right?
As far as I know, I mean, the only thing I can kind of compare it to is Miss Palmer's. I don't know if you remember that brand. Those, I think it was two guys. They just exploded. And Unit did exactly the same thing, but in a completely different industry. And I was so stoked that I got to be there from the garage, spray painting hats, hand making stickers to, when I ended up leaving and they were earning 20-something mil a year. It was crazy.
Far out.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And they're Gold Coasters. Honestly, Southeast Queensland is...
Yeah, they're originally from Papua New Guinea and, came over here and they actually went to school right near where I went to school out at Coralban. I grew up in a place called Beaudesert, which is just a bit west of here. Yep. Small country town. And, those guys are from Coralban, so we had that kind of thing in common as well. And, we just... Same kind of mentality as what Death Collector is. We just love bikes. And, at that point when I was at Unit, I was obsessed with BMX, so... They, kind of saw that and, they didn't take advantage of it, but they're just like, let's get into BMX a bit more. And, at that point, they were sponsoring, Cam Piano, a really good friend of mine, and ended up sponsoring Cam White. And just through, all these guys,
Well, you would have been quite young then.
Yeah, 20 or 21 or something like that.
And he would have been, say, 30...
No, they were really young, yeah.
Oh, really?
So... Yeah, I mean, they were 24 or 25, I think, when they started it. So, they were still very young. To start a business like that, it was crazy. So.
Yeah. So, when you design things, are you always sketching stuff?
It just depends on the job.
No, I mean, right now, at home, do you find yourself on the phone just going,
For me, it's more concepts in my head. So, for me, it's the idea. So, I've got a thing on my phone, and I always find I get the most kind of ideas when I'm at the gym or, on the dunny or something where I'm not actually doing something else. Yeah. And, it kind of, I just have this big list of stuff on my phone. Every time I think of a concept for a tee or just a cool photo I want to take or just anything, I just write it down to make sure because I forget everything. So,
So in notes on your phone or something?
Yeah, it's this huge list and I just make sure I email it to myself just in case I lose it. So
I always laugh, mate, how much work I do sitting on the toilet. So much. so much. And I've got young kids, so I'm there all the time. I just
that's your escape.
It's
Yeah.
escape. But generally, I can think.
Yeah.
And no one is bothering me. We're